What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Cornelia, back with another episode of Black News, a podcast where we break down current events, hot topics, and local stories involving Black people. Now let's get into it. Well, it's finally here. Election 2024 is finally here. It's been a long, however, 6 months. It's been a long, however long you've been in the fight. It's been long. Even if you don't call yourself in the fight been in you because this election applies to everybody. So it's been a long, however long, while simultaneously feeling like an extremely short cycle. And let me say this, I prefer the 3-month election run. Because them in the past 1.5, 2 year election runs is too long. 3 months, hey, it sounds like, hey, it worked for me. Now, before I really get in, let me preface this. I am recording this podcast on Monday, the Monday before election day. I usually record Monday, Tuesday at the latest. But honestly, baby, I don't know how I'm going to be feeling on election day to be trying to record. I need to be locked in. MSNBC, CNN, local ABC news. I'm locked in on all three. And some of my streaming apps, they got news now too. I'm locked in, baby. I got to be updated on all fronts. So I'm recording this on Monday. When this is released on Thursday, I do not know, you do not know, we do not know, none of us know what will have happened then. If the election will be called on election night, if it'll be called this week at all. Personally, I think the election will be, whether it's called or not, the red hats gonna throw out some election conspiracies because they've already started. It's gonna be a long fight. We might be in this until December. But I voted for Vice President Kamala Harris and Governor Tim Walz for President and Vice President of the United States of America. I feel confident in my choice. I was proud to cast my ballot. I walked up in that polling location. You couldn't tell me I ain't on the North Hollywood Van Nuys polling location. Okay, I'm in the building. I walked in like I'm in the building. Here's my barcode. Tag me in. I'm in the motherfucking building. You couldn't tell me nothing when I voted for that Black woman. You couldn't tell me nothing. So I personally am not I'm feeling kind of anxious, but I think we've done everything that we're gonna do. People have done everything they're gonna do, and Auntie Kamala been hitting it. I feel so bad for her in a sense. I know that baby is exhausted. I know Auntie is so tired. Let's take Saturday for an example. And on Saturday, she went to rally after rally after rally. Somebody said they saw her in North Carolina at 5 o'clock p.m. Then she flew to New York to tape SNL and was back up the next morning for church. I know she tired. I feel, oh my goodness, I know she tired. But somebody that I follow on social media mentioned how when she was running for district attorney in San Francisco or in the Bay Area, how she used to be standing in front of the bus station and train station campaigning and talking to voters for hours on end every day and every weekend trying to get people to vote and get people out to vote. So she know how to campaign. They know how to campaign, and they put this campaign together and sprung it up on legs and got it going overnight, and it's been going strong for 3 months. And I would dare to say, regardless of how you think about someone's policies, and if you are one of those people who you think you got to be in love with the candidate romantically in order to cast a vote versus just doing what's right, this has been an almost perfect campaign. From social media, from immediately setting up Kamala HQ and tapping into that demographic of voter who doesn't necessarily care about policy. They checking for vibes, on trend immediately, to then remember earlier in the campaign they were setting out those press releases every time the Red Hats would do something stupid, then capturing social media on the official pages, then vetting for a vice presidential candidate within weeks and landing on Tim Walz, which has been a great pick. He really giving that wholesome Midwest guy the vibe. I really like that. That was a good pick. Then to go into the convention and ride the momentum of the convention to engage voters and to in the early stages of this for apparatuses to pop up on their own. Black women, white dudes for Harris, white women for Harris, Latinos for Harris. You had chefs for Harris. You had hairstylists and barbers for Harris. You had every Swifties for Harris. You had literally people setting up their own apparatuses and their own Hamptonians for Harris. I know a lot of HBCUs had their own fractions and going up and raising money and campaigning to her getting the celebrity endorsements that the Democratic Party usually get. Then for her hitting that road, she been hitting that road, and I've been thinking about it as she been hitting the road. I don't know how Joe Biden's gonna pull this off. Y'all know I'm a roll with Joe Biden. I was gonna ride with Joe Biden as long as he was on the ticket. But I don't know how old Joe was gonna campaign and be on the trail. He was gonna, hey, I don't know how I don't know how he was gonna do it. I don't know how Kamala Harris, and I want to know what supplement she taking. What's her vitamin regimen? Because I ain't never had that much. I ain't had that much energy since I've been online. And okay, I wasn't online but you know what I'm saying, undergrad. Either way, I feel like this campaign has done everything that it was going to and was that it was able to do outside of end a war that isn't even our war. That's the only thing left that they could have do. They done freed hostages from Russia. I mean, the only thing left was Gaza, and that's we already know it's some backhand stuff going on to the point where that war ain't gonna be ended while this election is happening. We know what's going on with that. So I feel like I would give this campaign 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. And speaking of SNL, because I mentioned that, say what y'all want to say, but Kamala Harris, she's fun. Like she's fun. Yeah, and I don't like how people aren't leaning into that, considering in elections of past, the concept of I need to know if I can have a beer with him has been a major driving point for some people. Because if it was about feeling like you was gonna be able to kick it with somebody, she would have everybody vote locked in. That was your requirement before, but now it ain't right now. She's fun. She had a good time. She was on SNL, which I knew she was gonna go on there because it's just perfect. It's the perfect window. As y'all know, Maya Rudolph has been playing Vice President Kamala Harris and has been killing it. I mean, got the outfit and the wig down. I mean, killing it. So she was on this past Saturday night playing Maya Rudolph's mirror version of herself. Great sketch. It was the cold open, quick and easy, in and out, laughing, good time, back on the campaign trail. 10, 10, no notes. So, with that, to button it up, she had the speech in DC, in the same park where the insurrection last year happened, or not last year, I feel like last year, 2021, January 6th. All in all, I feel like everybody has done everything that they have done. Knocked on doors, phone bank, text bank, putting up signs, donating, marching, going to rallies, whatever the case may be. We've done everything. And I don't feel as anxious. I feel kind of good. I feel kind of good. If she don't win, I'm going to be extremely disappointed. But there's only so much ignorance that you can fight, everybody has done everything that they're gonna do. So how do y'all feel going into this? Obviously, next week when I'm back on Black News, I will give the update of the what's happenings. But I will be tuned in to all of the news outlets. I will be keeping my eyes on Howard University. If you listen to Black News, whether I know you personally or not, I want you to go down to Howard campus. If I only one thing I hate about living in major cities that are not battleground esque, we never be in on the action because I keep saying, y'all know I ain't gonna be missing no history. I'm taking my ass down. I would take my ass down to Howard. Get on campus tomorrow night. You do not like it's gonna be historic. It's gonna be historic. And as an HBCU graduate and as a Hampton alum, I'm so happy that those kids and those students get to experience that in real time. That was the perfect, perfect idea for election night to be on the campus of Howard University. Chef's kiss. Anyway, what do y'all think is going to happen? Do whatever y'all need to do to stay calm. If some people taking off work, if don't watch TV, house off social, whatever you need to do it. But we gonna be locked the F in for Vice President Kamala Harris and Governor Tim Walz. Let me know your thoughts about all of this. If you've already cast your vote, or if you're casting it on election day in person, hit me up. You know where to find me. I'm at Cornelia on social media. On another note, unrelated, but about women, I was able to watch the Megan Thee Stallion documentary on Amazon Prime this past week. Very well put together, very well done. And it's expected that she did the documentary because I'm finding and I'm seeing and noticing that most artists of her caliber and of her stature are putting out documentaries, just whether it's around their life, their journey, the making of a particular album, whatever the case may be. So I'm not surprised that she released it. And I'm happy she did because it addressed everything that she has been dealing with since she first became popular, right before she blew up, when she blew up, her mother passing, all the way up until now, which included her being shot at and in the foot by rapper Tory Lanez. And I don't have to say allegedly, I don't think, because he was convicted. But I'm going to say it allegedly, child. I don't want no smoke. But y'all know what I mean. So, a few things. One, if you have not watched it, please watch it, whether you are a fan or you are not a fan. If you are a fan, watch it to support, of course. But it just is it's nice to see put together in documentary form her rise and everything that she has experienced. And especially if you were following her right when she got popular. I remember when Big Old Freak came out, right then I remember that. And so to see it then from then and jump to now is incredible. But if you are not a fan, I would implore you to watch it because, or if you were one of the people on social media saying she was lying, I need you to watch it because it shows everything that she was put through, the mental anguish that she suffered because of y'all's lying asses on social media. That's what I would say. They also, what I appreciated, and these people may not appreciate it in real time, she has got screen grabs of people on social media, whether they were tweeting, posting on Instagram, going live on TikTok, doing videos of them talking crazy about her, and she put those into the documentary. So now y'all on in 4K looking crazy, spreading misinformation. Hate to see it, love to see it. But it was just a good story about what happens when a young, ambitious young woman with talent gets successful, but simultaneously loses the most important people in her life, specifically her mother, who was managing her. And while she was trying to cope with the trauma and the depression of that, ends up just being taken advantage of and and being around people who don't have her best interests at heart, and them essentially preying her on her declined mental state and what was going on with her trauma, and ended up hurting her. I don't know no other way to put it. I probably have a better way to put it once I can gather my words together. But essentially, and she said this on the documentary, if her mama was still alive, half the stuff that she went through, she may not have even went through, because her mama wasn't playing that shit. And her mother was y'all know the business is, it's a nasty business. Entertainment is nasty. It is nasty. And there's a way to avoid the nastiness, but it's very easy to get caught up, especially if you are young and impressionable. I always tell people this. One, if I would have came to LA right after high school, I would have probably got lost in the sauce. If I would have came to LA after college, I wouldn't have got lost in the sauce, but I would not have become who I became because since I went to New York first. By the time I got to LA, I was in my late 20s, had lived a little life, and had a different perspective. I already kicked it, I already had a good time, so I came here to work. But I met a lot of people when I got here who came here without having an experience that developed or molded or shaped their mindset before, and some of them was lost. LA just a different entertainment city because you got so many people trying. There's so many bad influences. That could be whether it's porn, drugs, you name it. Child, Brian Pumper used to be walking around Target and at the train stations trying to pick up girls. And if y'all, Brian Pumper one of them porn dudes. Like literally, you can get the Los Angeles is what they can call it, and that could apply if you don't have any guidance or know who you are as a person. So when Megan says if her mom was still living, she went through half of that. It could just be as simple as you got a manager who know you and that's your blood and your daughter. Certain things you're gonna shield them from versus some random manager or some random crew member. They also addressed and talked about the Kelsey situation. As y'all know, Kelsey was her best friend, which was also the person on trial. And during trial, allegedly, did not say that Tori was the one that shot her. I think she pled the fifth. Like it was a mess. But they talked about that and how she knew Kelsey since 2013 and thought that she was her best friend, and then to end up in this situation. They pieced it together really nicely so that it was digestible and painted a full picture about what happened, and also how so many people were vilifying her essentially for no reason. Which the conclusion is, and we've known this, and we know this more so, I would say it's, I'm gonna say now than ever, but the reality is some people just hate women. And it's not just men, some women hate other women. It's sad, but some people hate women. And some people hate celebrities. Some people they hate people who are successful. And then some people are just weirdos. Some people are weird. Go on social media and just look in a celebrities' comments and look what some people saying. You got to be weird as hell to be in celebrities' comments talking crazy about them getting shot. Like I'm talking about crazy. So the documentary for me was very enlightening. It had elements of anime in there. Y'all know Megan likes anime. It was just really nicely done. I feel bad that she has went through so many things. The older woman in me, the former hot girl in me wanted to just grab her and hug her and offer whatever guidance and advice that she needs. I don't know, Megan, and not to say that she would take my advice, but I feel like a lot of the older women who watch this feel the same. You kind of just wanted to just scoop her up and be like, come on, girl, I got you. You know, it just made you feel that way because she needs people. She needs people. But, you know, it was just good. I advise y'all watch it. Watch it and judge for yourself and give your own opinion, but highly recommend it. Also want to reiterate that victims do not get to determine who goes to trial and who's prosecuted or not. So that whole theory that people keep saying Megan put him in jail, Megan is not the people. The people versus so and so. She is not the people. Victims cannot determine who gonna get brought up on charges. If that's the case, every woman who's ever been battered and bruised and beat up and walked in a police station will have a court date the next day. It don't work like that. So cut it out. What do y'all think? Let me know if you watched, if you're planning to watch. Yeah, you can find me at Canelia on social media with your thoughts. So Young Thug is out. Young Thug out of jail, y'all. And I admit, I have not talked about this case on Black News because I really don't care. I don't care. Baby, I do not care. I don't. I hope everybody involved is okay, but I did not. I was not invested enough in this case. It was too many people. It was too much going on. There was too much back and forth in the courtroom, and that's not my demographic, right? Like if now you would have told me that, let's see, who's a rapper? If Nas was on trial, I would have been locked in. Okay, lock and key. But it wasn't. I don't know what Young Thug and them was doing YSL. I don't know. When I hear YSL, I think of Yves Saint Laurent. Okay, I think of handbags. I think of going down to the YSL at Bloomingdale's or Saks or Neiman's and getting down to the YSL apparel. That's what I think. So I really was not tuned in. But when he got out, everybody was up in arms in a good way. So I'm bringing it up on Black News just to make sure everybody's updated. In short, he got a bunch of years, but the judge knocked it all down to time served. But he got 15 years probation. He got to stay out of Metro Atlanta for 10 years. And if he violates his probation, he got to go to jail for 20 or 25 years. I forget which one it was, but 20, at least 20, or maybe is it 40? However, too long. Essentially, if this man, and if he violates probation at any time, if he violates probation year one, go to jail. 5, go to jail. It could be 14 years and he violate probation, he got to go to jail for 20 something years. Central, like, I ain't never been in jail and I don't plan on being in jail. Thank God. I'm not, I hope he keep protecting me and keeping me. Okay. But situations like that, like, I wonder if and he took a plea deal. So he agreed to the terms of this. And I don't know that man's personality, but I'm wondering if he thinks that he can do this. Because that's crazy. Do y'all think he can do this? And I'm not saying he can't, but you can't make a mistake in 15 years and you got to stay out of your city for 10 years. Your family there, your friends there, they said you got to stay out the city. What is he gonna do? Now, he got money. I think he can still work and tour. If he needs to go do shows overseas or domestically, he has to get approval. He can still do that. So he can still make money, make music. But I'm wondering if the parole, does that include the content of his music? Because now if you rapping about bang bang shoot 'em up, right? If you rapping about bang bang shoot 'em up or doing drugs, does that violate your parole? I don't know. I know it seems stressful. I just oof. There's also still people pending trial or awaiting trial. Yo, what is it's too much going on with this. There's way too much going on. I just cannot keep up. But the brother took the plea after being in court. I think they said they was on trial for a year, 2 years, two and a half, however many long, too long. People was on social media said as soon as they the note or the news came out that he pleaded, they said, "Dang, he done ate the McDonald's." He ate the McDonald's, and I ain't mad because if I'm y'all, I'm a snitch. And I'm not saying I am a snitch because I be snitching, but I'm saying I would snitch. I'm not going to jail. Give me the Mickey D's. First 48, go and talk to me and say if you tell you can get some food, give me the food. I don't want no McDonald's. Give me some Chipotle or some cow. Give me a nice falafel wrap, and I'll tell you everything that you need to know. It was him. It was him. He said it. He told me this. He said this. Please get me the falafel wrap and a water with lime, fresh lime. I'm telling. I am not gonna be in there withholding no information. Bring me the McDonald's. And if I can't get no other option at McDonald's, bring me the fish fillet. Easy tartar sauce. Fries fresh out the grease. I'm telling. They said that boy done ate the McDonald's. Hey, more power to you. What do y'all think? Are y'all more enlightened about this? I feel like Black news listeners gonna be split. I feel like the younger Black news listeners gonna be have to be tapped in and know what's going on. The older ones, I ain't heard many of y'all talking about them either. So, okay. Anyway, let me know though your thoughts. Is that probation crazy? Could y'all do it? Probably not because we don't be really young yet. I don't know. It's terrible. I feel bad. Let me know though. You can find me at Cornelia on social media. And lastly, I want to just highlight the sad news of the passing of musician, composer, writer, producer Quincy Jones. Again, he has passed. Legendary artist. Quincy Jones, when people talk about music and the most diverse and iconic legendary artists of all time, you got to put Quincy up there. While Quincy doesn't sing necessarily himself, Quincy Jones has been behind some of the most important moments and some of the most important artists in the history of American popular music of all genres and should be considered one of the pillars of music, hard stop. Whether that is him composing and arranging, working with Frank Sinatra in the early years, Michael Jackson, and a lot of people just know Stevie Wonder from working with Michael Jackson. But he was Stevie Wonder. Quincy Jones was working for what? He was born in the 30s. He was working 20, 40, 50. No, he started working. He was playing the trumpet and shit when he was like 15. So he was working, yeah, probably 30 something years before he even linked up with Michael. Just legendary. Legendary. I started going down a little rabbit hole of things produced or composed, written by Quincy Jones. Do that. Go to Apple Music or Spotify or Tidal, whichever platform you own, and on and do that. You just don't. It's just you're gonna be in for a treat. It's just incredible. So dedication and huge amounts of respect to Quincy Jones, the Jones family, Rashida and Kadada, his daughters. I don't know if he got more kids. I feel like he do, but those are the two that we know. Yeah, much love to Quincy Jones, the legend. Let me know your thoughts about it. You can find me at Cornelia on social media. On this week's episode of Black News, we talked about the final days before the presidential election of 2024. We also discussed the Megan Thee Stallion documentary on Amazon Prime. Young Thug is out of jail and gave a quick rest in peace to Quincy Jones. Hit me up. Let me know your thoughts about all of these topics. Summer Nun, and I'll check back with you guys next time. That's it for this week's episode of Black News, y'all. Thanks again for supporting the podcast by sharing, liking, subscribing, and rating 5 stars on your favorite podcast app. To find more information about me, you can check me out at Kennelia on social media, as well as on my website, which is kennelia.com. And as always, thanks for supporting, and I'll be back next week with new topics and a new episode.